Hey, what's going on, guys? We got hit with a new OTA today, so I figured I'd just give you, my rabid fan base, my instant reaction. So let's get into it. First up, we have the Collector. Old Collector, we used to be a 2-1, it actually got buffed into a 2-2. It is now changed. It is a 2-0, it still retains the same effect. Their logic here is that it's the primary power carry in every Loki-based deck. He should still fit in that role. Other decks don't use him, so it's a ping to use in other decks, but that kind of doesn't happen. I don't think that's a great excuse, personally. My cat is... You see him, right? I don't like that excuse, personally. I don't think he needed to be nerfed himself. It's the Loki thing that is broken. If you're going to just take 2 power off, I think they should take 2 power off of Loki. But Loki's a new card. People paid money to get him, so I can see why they wouldn't want to make a change to him right away. That interaction did need to be nerfed, so I think this is a step in the right direction, though kind of not the way I would go about it. Next up is Shadow King. Shadow King is going from a 3-cost card to a 2-cost card. I think this is... I think this is a little scary. That's sort of a cheap payment for a pretty strong effect. The card here, I was looking at his stats actually. So we have this season's card sorted by win rate when drawn, which is sort of what they go on. So let's go look for this card, Shadow King, and we can see he's not in the top. So even despite being like the main counter to the current Loki meta, the rates were not that great for him. I know he's like 54%. He's like way down here. There he is. So you see why I guess they figure just in general he could be buffed, have his cost lowered. I'm not that happy about this for a very personal reason because in my experience this season, Shadow King has been really good. I made a Surfer Loki deck, and my Shadow King 64% win rate when drawn, 85% win rate when played. I was getting like really, really good results out of Shadow King. So I'm surprised to see that he needed to be buffed. When in fact, to me, it felt like he was like the card to use. He was shining. So I don't, I don't know if this is going to affect my Surfer deck. I guess the 2 points you get from Surfer on him might be irrelevant. Uh, I don't know if I want to see a meta where like all cards that have extra power, you have to worry now, are they running Shadow King? Like the same way people used to run armor in every deck, you just may as well. Now it's just a strong 2/3, it's a tempo card, and if anybody buffs anything, you can just shrink it. I don't know how strong we want that to be or how cheap we want that to be. So I guess we'll see. The problem here was the Loki deck, right? And I don't like when they change multiple cards around a card that is sort of a problem card. And Loki maybe is a problem, maybe he's not quite. But it's like in Hearthstone when they made this Warlock quest and they literally nerfed like 15 Warlock cards because the quest they made was just ridiculously strong. They tried so hard to change everything except that quest. So this is like the Loki thing. They're changing all of Loki's buddies instead of Loki. Anyway, moving on. Lady Sif is a 3/5. Sure, I think that makes sense. Discarding a card from your hand is a downside in a vacuum, so it should have more premium stats for the cost. Of course, you always want that, you use Lady Sif in a discard deck where you want to target the highest cost card, whether it be Apocalypse or Agatha, as they say. In a Hela deck, you can run Death, and then she like safely discards Death. But it's in general. It's not like she was ever a strong card. Those decks that run her are kind of even those decks you don't really get too excited playing Lady Sif. I think the change is fine. Spider-Ham, they've reverted to a 1/1. He now still transforms the leftmost card in your opponent's hand into a pig. Sure, I guess it's always going to be annoying. I guess it's less annoying now. I definitely haven't seen it that much. So they must want it to be in the meta, and they want this card to be played more. Everybody who gets Spider-Hammed knows how fun that card is. So let's get that thing back. And finally, Black Cat has been changed to a 4/9, which means you're rarely ever going to play it, but it's better in like a Hella deck as just a free discard. What is their reasoning here? It's one of the weakest performing cards. The number 9 is apt for the cat theme. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, at this point, may as well throw her in any Hella deck. I mean, the 7 to 9 is big. I guess it's such an underused card. I guess you could like really rely on a Ghost Rider pulling Black Cat if you really wanted to. So those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong, if you think that changes are good, because this is actually, I think, from what I've seen other people say, they're generally positive about these changes. And I'm like a little iffy. I don't think the collector was like the cause of the problem. I don't think Shadow King needs to be like a constant threat. Spider-Ham, why do they want this? I think this needs to be in the meta, I guess. So you tell me, what do you guys think? And as always, thank you for watching. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, and keep snapping.